So another thing that we want to be looking at is your LGA, population growth rate. Now, this is something you can see on your ABS data or ID profiles, and you want to start looking at your LGA growth rate. Now, like I've touched on previous videos, or you might have heard me say, sometimes population growth doesn't always mean that that market is going to boom as well. There's a lot of towns that actually have stayed stable with population, but what's happened, internal migration has changed. So population growth rate can be, your overseas migrants, and this is where you got to look at data really, really carefully. Your overseas migrants or internal, so internal Australians moving to these places. Now, there's been a lot of places where there's a lot of people who have left, but then there's been a lot of people from, interstate or other regional towns in that certain state have moved into those markets, which have a massive effect on those markets as well. So what's one thing you want to be looking at is when you're going on ABS data, you can actually look at this individual data. So internal migration or, your overseas migrants. And you want to be making sure you're looking at your internal migrations from people from Australia. And you can see where majority of people are coming from is from New South Wales, Victoria. Let's say let me touch back on that. Let's say we're looking at Queensland. We want to know where majority of these people they've migrated to Queensland, where they come from. New South Wales, Queensland, Tassie, regional Queensland, Tassie, Western Australia, etc. And you can actually see where they've come from. You can actually put in this data, and it can go to an SA3 level, which is very, very fine micro level, to even suburbs all over Australia. And so when you start to see things like that change, internal migration, that has a massive effect on the market. Because people that migrate from overseas, that come into certain markets, yes, they might push up the rental market, of course, if there's an oversupply of people that come into a certain market, and they're renting, of course. But they're not going to push up the capital growth market as well. So that's something you got to keep in mind. We're chasing growth as well as cash flow, and we want to make sure that, we want to have properties that are appreciating over time, growing in capital growth. So something to look at the data is very, very crucial. And I might have to do a video on actually how to access data from ABS, how to log in, how to look at data, find data, and have a look by typing in a certain region that you want to be looking at, and then going to internal migration. And that's something that I'll break it down, but which is super impactful. Internal migration is probably one of the main things that you want to be understanding. A lot of people migrating to certain regions, and that's having an impact on the markets. So I'll do another video for that, but thank you for watching this video.